Most billionaires fly private. These two don't trust the sky. Kim Jong Un, the supreme leader of North Korea, and Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, travel in armored trains, not regular trains. Rolling fortresses packed with missile-proof floors, anti-aircraft guns, escape helicopters, and nuclear launch codes. One of them gets live lobster airlifted to his dining car in the middle of Siberia. The other has a $4.6 million shower with an aromafoam mode. Yeah, you heard that right. An aromafoam mode. On a train. We're about to take you inside the two most insane private trains on planet Earth. Trains so heavily armored, they max out at 37 miles per hour because the steel is literally too heavy to go faster. Trains that shut down entire countries' rail networks just by moving. Trains that carry portable toilets so foreign spies can't steal the dictator's DNA. This is not a joke. Every single word of that is real. Buckle up. Kim Jong Un's train, the moving fortress. Kim Jong Un's train, the moving fortress. North Korea calls it the Taeyangho, which translates to sun, a tribute to the country's founding dictator Kim Il-sung. Intelligence analysts call it something more accurate, the moving fortress. Kim doesn't have one train. He has a fleet of at least 6, with a total of 90 specialized armored carriages that can be mixed and matched depending on the trip. A fully loaded convoy stretches up to 20 cars and nearly 1,900 feet long. That's longer than 5 football fields of blast-proof, bulletproof, dictator-carrying steel crawling across the countryside. From the outside, it looks exactly how you'd imagine a dictator's train. Dark olive green paint with a yellow stripe running the length, gold crests, the whole vibe screaming Soviet military chic. But the drab exterior isn't just for aesthetics. It doubles as camouflage when rolling through North Korea's mountainous, heavily forested terrain. The armor underneath is staggering. Explosion-proof floor panels designed to absorb IEDs and anti-tank mines. Thick, multi-layered bulletproof windows rated for sustained sniper fire. All that steel makes each carriage far heavier than a standard 60-ton railcar, which is exactly why this thing tops out at a miserable 60 kilometers per hour. That's 37 miles per hour. A modern bullet train hits 300 kilometers per hour. Kim's train is 5 times slower. He literally chose survival over speed, and he's not losing sleep over it. Inside Kim's rolling palace. If the outside screams military bunker, the inside screams Barbie's dream house designed by a dictator. State media footage revealed plush Barbie pink leather couches, ornate flower-shaped wall lighting, dark wood paneling, and zebra print fabric chairs. There's a massive executive desk with a map of China and the Korean peninsula mounted on the wall, satellite uplinks for encrypted military comms, and giant Panasonic flat screens so Kim can command his army without missing a beat. Then there's the dining car. And this is where it gets truly insane. Russian military commander Konstantin Pulikovsky traveled extensively with Kim's father and documented the menu. Russian, Chinese, Korean, Japanese, and French cuisine, all prepared on board. The logistics. Live lobsters were airlifted daily to the train at scheduled stops along the Trans-Siberian Railway. Former Russian diplomat Georgy Toleraya confirmed the spread also included massive abalones, premium pork barbecue, Swiss cheese, and imported donkey meat flown directly from Pyongyang. The wine cellar is stocked with vintage Bordeaux and Burgundy shipped from Paris, plus Russian vodka, Hennessy cognac, and Cristal champagne. This man is crawling through Siberia at 37 miles per hour drinking Cristal. That's a level of petty luxury most of us can't even dream about. For entertainment, Kim travels with an entourage of highly vetted female performers that Russian diplomats politely called lady conductors. Defectors and intelligence reports connect these women to the Kipumjo, North Korea's so-called pleasure brigade. Roughly 2,000 women selected for appearance and political loyalty, and for the quiet moments, a Chinese-made Tianqi V700 karaoke machine, because what's a 60-hour train ride without karaoke? The 3-train convoy. Kim never rides alone. The standard operating procedure is a staggered 3-train convoy. The advanced train runs 30 minutes to an hour ahead, carrying roughly 100 security agents who physically sweep every mile of track, every bridge, and every station for explosives and snipers. Kim rides in the heavily armored main train with his inner circle and primary communications nodes. A rear train follows loaded with hundreds of armed bodyguards, backup comms, spare parts, and medical staff. When this convoy moves domestically, the entire North Korean rail network shuts down. Electricity is cut to all parallel and intersecting tracks to eliminate collision risk. Stations along the route are cleared of civilians 24 hours in advance. The train also carries twin heavy machine guns, anti-aircraft weapons, and a helicopter either strapped to a flatbed car or flying alongside for aerial escape. 2 armored Mercedes Maybach limousines ride on dedicated flat cars, so Kim transitions seamlessly from train to bulletproof motorcade without ever breathing open air. Kim's epic journeys. Because this thing moves at the speed of a riding lawnmower, every international trip becomes a logistical nightmare that bends entire nations to its will. For the 2019 Hanoi summit with Donald Trump, Kim took the train 4,500 kilometers straight through China. That's 2,800 miles. It took over 60 hours. A commercial flight covers the same distance in 5. But here's the thing. China had to clear its heavily trafficked commercial rail lines to let him through, a massive diplomatic concession that disrupted the Chinese economy for days. And because Vietnam uses a different rail gauge than China, the train couldn't cross the border. Kim had to hop out and take his armored Mercedes the last 170 kilometers to Hanoi. His father was even worse. Kim Jong Un took the train all the way to Moscow in 2001. 5,800 miles, 24 days round trip. A direct flight takes 9 hours. He spent almost a month in a metal tube demanding daily live lobster airlifts in the middle of the Siberian wilderness because he was terrified of flying. Defectors say the phobia started with a catastrophic jet explosion during a test flight in 1982, or possibly a helicopter crash in 1976 that left Kim Jong Un with a permanent scar across his forehead. Putin's ghost train. If Kim's train is a rolling palace of Cold War excess, Putin's train is a clinical survival pod with a spa. Long rumored to exist by Russian train spotters, the London-based dossier center blew the lid off in 2023 with leaked documents revealing every bizarre detail. Putin's fleet consists of 22 customized railcars, though a typical trip uses about 10 to keep speed up and stay stealthy. The exterior is genius in its deception. Standard grey and red paint identical to ordinary Russian passenger trains. To the naked eye, it's just another commuter. The only giveaway? White antenna domes on the roof housing advanced military satellite communications. The carriages are clad in level 3+ armor, meaning the hull and windows survive point-blank AK-47 fire, sustained sniper rounds, and the floors are reinforced against direct RPG hits. The whole thing cost Russian taxpayers approximately $74 million to build, with $15.8 million a year in maintenance. Putin's anti-aging bunker on rails. Here's where it gets weird. While Kim's train is about lobster and karaoke, Putin's is about not aging. Car number 02178630 is entirely dedicated to his physical vitality. A full gym bolted directly into RPG-resistant floors, originally featuring Italian techno gym equipment, but recently upgraded with American-made hoist machines and gymnastic mats. Next door, a Turkish hammam with heated marble platforms and a customized shower with an exclusive aromafoam mode that alone cost £3.75 million, roughly $4.6 million. For a shower. On a train. But wait, it gets crazier. The train has a dedicated cosmetology suite designed for anti-aging treatments, radio frequency skin tightening machines, LED therapy panels, cryotherapy pods, cherry blossom face masks, and seaweed wraps. The president of Russia is rolling through the countryside getting collagen treatments while simultaneously commanding a ground war. Beyond vanity, the train doubles as a rolling hospital. Lung ventilators, defibrillators, IV stations, and a full nuclear biological chemical filtration system that can recycle the air indefinitely. The nuclear command post. Putin's train isn't just transport, it's a fully integrated mobile nuclear command center. Those white roof domes connect to encrypted satellite uplinks and electronic warfare jamming systems. The train is hardwired to the Cheget, Russia's nuclear briefcase, carried at all times by officers from the ultra-secretive Service K unit. Through the Cheget, the train connects to the Kazbek Strategic Command System via the Kavkaz 7 military satellite network. Translation: Vladimir Putin can launch intercontinental ballistic missiles or submarine-based nuclear weapons while rolling undetected across the Russian countryside. He doesn't even need to stop. After the 2022 invasion of Ukraine, Putin swapped his presidential aircraft for the train almost entirely. Ukrainian attack drones and Western intelligence tracking flight transponders made the skies too dangerous. The train doesn't broadcast a transponder, doesn't show up on civilian radar, and Russian rail authorities run parallel decoy trains to confuse foreign intelligence. Secret dead-end railway lines and fenced VIP platforms were built directly next to his residences in Valdai, Novo Ogaryovo, and Sochi. He literally has private train stations at his houses. Kim versus Putin. The comparison. These two trains represent completely different brands of dictatorship. Kim's philosophy is high visibility, dynastic royalty, the ultimate moving fortress. Up to 20 cars per convoy, 90 carriages in the total fleet, max speed 37 miles per hour because the armor is so heavy it physically can't go faster. His luxury is pure hedonism, French wine, live lobster, karaoke, singers. Putin's philosophy is the opposite. Absolute stealth, medical preservation, a mobile bunker disguised as a commuter train. 22 dedicated cars, standard passenger paint job, level 3 plus composites that keep the weight down so it moves at normal speed. His luxury is clinical narcissism, anti-aging treatments, cryotherapy, a $4.6 million shower. Kim's train is more heavily armored. The brute force steel and concrete restrict it to 37 miles per hour, proving the sheer tonnage poured into blast-proofing. Putin's train is sneakier. Lighter ballistic composites maintain high speed while surviving rocket fire. Kim shuts down entire nations' rail systems when he crosses a border. Putin slips through disguised as a regular train with decoy convoys running interference. The wildcard details. And now the stuff that sounds completely made up but is absolutely confirmed. Kim Jong Un travels with a portable toilet built into the train and his armored motorcade. Not because of germophobia, because he refuses to let foreign intelligence agencies like the CIA harvest his stool to sequence his DNA and determine the true state of his health. His bodyguards jog in perfect formation alongside his moving limousine during station transitions, sharp suits and all, sweeping crowds in choreographed security theater that plays to cameras worldwide. When Kim crosses from North Korea into Russia at the Tumen River, his train literally cannot continue. Russia uses a wider rail gauge than North Korea, 1520 versus 1435 millimeters. Workers at Kasan station have to physically jack up each massive armored carriage and swap every single wheel assembly to fit the wider tracks. The dictator sits stationary at the border for hours while mechanics crawl underneath his blast-proof train with wrenches. And despite billions spent on stealth and decoys, modern satellite intelligence makes hiding impossible. When Kim traveled to Russia in 2023, Planet Labs satellites counted 73 distinct freight cars moving at the border facility in real time. The numbers that break your brain. The average North Korean earns between $1,000 and $2,000 a year. Kim Jong Un's estimated personal net worth is $5 billion. A single blast-proof carriage with pink leather and satellite tech costs millions. It would take an average North Korean worker tens of thousands of lifetimes to afford one car of the Taeyang-ho. Putin's train cost $74 million to build. The average Russian salary is about $14,700. The train's construction equals the combined annual wages of over 5,000 Russian citizens. And that $4.6 million aromafoam shower. That's 311 years of an average Russian's salary for a shower mode on a moving train.